This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Petey Williams, I am all pumped up for this podcast. I've been excited. I took a shower. I am ready to go. You know what? At the end of this podcast, I am going to lay it all on the line, Petey Williams. And do you know why?
Because you took your Blue Chew?
I did. I actually thought it would help for podcasting. And whew, let me tell you, I'm excited in a totally different way for this podcast.
I mean, the way you came out and started saying that, I'm like, man, Dennis is all hopped up on his Blue Chew again.
Oh, man. Blue Chew and Monster Energy drinks. That's what I get ready for this podcast.
Yeah, that's a deadly mix right there.
I guess.
Wow.
I guess it's a bad timing to say I'm really excited to talk to you.
I would say so. No, it's fine. It's fine because you know what? You're on that end of the table. I'm on this end of the table. There's no way we're going to be able to touch.
Hey, will you say that again, but a little bit slower?
You'll be I'm not going to say it again.
But with Blue Chew, Petey Williams, you can get excited for whatever situation you are with your significant other, whether you're a guy going to bed with for the first time and you want to impress a lady, whether you've been married and things are a little still and you're like, you know what? It's time to raise the roof the only way I know how. Is that still a in term right now, raise the roof?
I think it'll always be a saying, so I mean, we might as well say it.
Oh, do you want to get crunk with your little lady? You can.
I don't think that's a saying, though.
That's
crunk
not,
is not still a saying. No. Raise the roof.
Raise the roof.
Go ahead, use crunk. I mean,
all right. Are we still doing fleek? I
Fleek, I think was like a week-long thing.
All right, so you want your sexual game to be on fleek, huh? Does that sound cool?
Yes, that sounds so cool.
Showing my age, Petey Williams. Look, BlueChew.com is made from the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You see them all over the place. Blue Chew is chewable, which means it works twice as fast. You could take one now at the beginning of this ad, and by the time we're done shilling this product, you will be ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, you'll just like, they'll be like, oh, we're done at our Blue Chew ad, and then we start the podcast, we're like, nope, pause, I'm ready to go, man. So, I mean, whatever the listener wants to do, they can do whatever they want with their Blue Chew.
You take it now, and whenever we play the Canadian National Anthem, your flag will be at full staff.
Yeah, it'll never be flying at half staff. It'll always be at full staff.
Blue Chew.
That's yeah.
Listen,
not with Blue Chew.
It's made in America, which means it's cheaper than the other pills. We said it's chewable, which means it works twice as fast. You can do it online, which means no awkward doctor's visits. Do you know how awkward it is, Petey, when I try to hit you up for Blue Chew and you're like, wait a second, you're the guy doing the ad.
Yeah, no, doctor's visits are not cool, especially if you have a female doctor and you're like, hey, I need help with, just bypass all that, BlueChew.com. I mean, click, and you're done.
You use the promo code WPP, and guess what that does for you, Petey?
It gets you it for free. You just pay $5 shipping and handling. That's it.
That's right. Santa Farrell and Petey Elf make an appearance in this ad. We're giving you your free order. And by the way, I love Twitter because Twitter loved the Petey Williams Elf stuff.
Hey, I like being Petey Elf. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I probably would much rather be an elf than Santa.
Listen,
to be honest with you,
I'm excited because Petey Elf will follow me around and carry in my sack, and whenever I'm ready to pull it out, Petey will be there to help me.
Did you just say you'll carry sack? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Never mind. Pull it out.
Anyways, with Blue Chew, maybe you'll get your own little Petey Elf to follow you around. I can't make any promises on that, but what I can promise you is if you use the promo code WPP, and when you use that promo code, you help us, the podcast, so we can invest back into ourselves. So whether you need Blue Chew or not, look, I will relay another story. Remember Grocery Store Derek?
Oh, yeah.
I was at a show with him. I'm like, dude, why don't you go order some Blue Chew? And he snubbed his nose at me like, oh, I don't need Blue Chew. And I'm like, Derek, listen, if there's a guy that needs Blue Chew, it's you. He didn't.
I mean, I don't know, but
I said that in my head.
Okay, I'm glad he said it in your head because, I mean, he does bag my groceries every week.
But you know what grocery store Derek could do?
What's that?
He could order the Blue Chew and just put it away. He could order the Blue Chew and use it. He could order the Blue Chew and give it to a friend. But you know what he didn't do?
Order the Blue Chew.
Order the Blue Chew. He's like, I'm the biggest fan of the podcast. I love Petey Williams. I'll do everything to support you except for order Blue Chew.
Grocery store Derek, order the Blue Chew.
That's right. You heard him. Hey, what? You know what? I don't know how I'm going to tie this into this ad, but I'm going to try. Nope. I'm bailing out. I'm not going to do it.
Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. No. I know what direction you're going down, and we probably shouldn't do it.
Thank God you talked me out of it, because I know a few women who like Ring of Honor are very thankful that I'm not about to try to fit them into this ad. But either way,
nope.
BlueChew.com, we really appreciate it. Everybody that goes over, uses the promo code WPP, gets the free. And look, we're not going to insult your intelligence, but I will say this. I use it. I like it. It works. I'm a happier guy. You know what I saw today?
What'd you see?
A rainbow.
Man, it was so cloudy, but I mean, if you're seeing rainbows on Blue Chew, I mean, who might as well just take it just to see the rainbows.
I saw a rainbow today, PD, and I heard birds chirping, and everything seemed right in this world because of Blue Chew.
Man, you remind me of like that movie 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I feel like it. All right. Enough Hawk and Blue Chew. Are you ready?
I'm ready. It's are we gonna hit my music?
Yes. It's a very, very special edition of the Wrestling Perspective podcast. I'm Dennis Farrell, and he's Petey Elf, Petey Williams.
How's she going, eh?
Hey, do they celebrate Christmas? Because we're recording this 4 days from Christmas right now. Do they celebrate Christmas in Canada?
Yes. Normally people will say something like, hey, you guys don't do Christmas. You do Boxing Day. That Boxing Day, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, dude, we do Christmas. We're like, there's Christians in Canada. Like, it's not just an American thing.
Well, he lives in Greenwich now.
Yeah, I mean, we just have a Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas. So, I mean, yeah, we celebrate Christmas. We celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Yes, we do.
I thought you guys only had one Christian in Canada.
And what's his name?
Christian Cage.
Oh, Christian Cage. Oh, bam, I got it as soon as I asked. Set myself up for that.
You knew that's where I was going, right?
Yep. As soon as I said that, I was like, man, I said it.
All right. So, full disclosure, this podcast could be, well, we're at like 8 minutes now, but this podcast could be 15 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. We are only here to talk about one subject that was breaking news today. Petey Williams, I haven't really talked about you, and we both made time to discuss it, but Impact has signed a new television deal, leaving Pop TV after X amount of years. I'm not sure if the internet was excited, because to me, as a fan, and I'm sure you're going to educate me and help me understand the parameters of the deal, seems like a step backwards.
I mean, I think I don't think you're the only one thinking that, honestly. Like you hear rumors on the internet, like we're negotiating, or not negotiating, but I don't know what the right word is, but like sci-fi, and what were some of the other ones, Dennis? Like
WGN, I think, was rumored.
Yeah, WGN America,
Sci-fi,
and I think True TV,
TV.
All big name brands, programming that everybody, like, if you mention it, you're like, oh yeah, True TV, I watch Practical Jokers, or WGN, I don't even know what's on WGN. Sci-fi, yeah, I watch whatever. That's a big network. SmackDown used to be on there. So a lot of people are like thinking, Pursuit? What's Pursuit channel? It makes sense to me initially as soon as I read it, because I didn't know about it until I woke up this morning and the big news was out, and I'm like, oh, we're on Pursuit now. Okay, this is awesome. Pursuit's owned by Anthem. Anthem owns Impact. It to me, in my mind, I'm thinking why didn't we do something like this sooner? Like, why didn't we do this a year ago? Like, Anthem owns Impact. Anthem owns Persuit. Why haven't we linked up like this before? I mean, it makes sense to me initially because we all parties want to succeed in this because, I mean, we're all feeding into each other. We're all owned by each other. So it only makes sense.
So I will say this. All my information I'm getting now comes from CagesideSeats.com in an article that was written by Sean Ruster. I may be saying that wrong, and if I apologize. To give him full credit, you can follow him on Twitter at S1Rude, Rude. So, Sean, thank you so much for allowing me to use this for. And this is a very well-written, great article. But some of the pulls out of this is he's reporting that John Pollock from Post is reporting that Pop Network was available in 67 million homes. Persuit is only available in 30 million homes, Petey.
Interesting. So the thing is, you want to...
Here's some other things that is being reported in this article. The show will remain at 10 p.m. Eastern time slot, but will switch to Friday nights, which means come October, they'll be going on the same day, on the same week as WWE SmackDown. I believe it will be airing after the show finishes on Fox, which it might be a part of a strategy to grab wrestling fans while they're already watching wrestling. Sean speculates.
I mean, we've seen how this was in the past. When Impact was a lot bigger, and I think we talked about this on the previous podcast we just aired. We went head-to-head before with Raw on Monday night. I don't think we have any desire to do that. I know New Japan Pro Wrestling on Access, they air their television show on Friday nights. I believe it's Friday nights. Somebody will probably listen to this and correct me. It's like, no, it's on Saturdays or Thursdays or whatever, but I believe it's on Friday nights, so it's not like we're trying to compete. It's just probably like, hey, this is the slot that we have for you. And I mean, I don't know if this is like a starter slot and say, hey, see how you guys perform on Fridays at 10 p.m. And then, we can move from there, whatever the case may be. And remember, ECW, when they were on back before Spike was Spike TV, and when they were on TNN, the national network, I think they were on Friday nights, weren't they? I'm pretty sure like Friday nights at 10 or 9 or something like that. And they only had I think an hour show.
Here's a few other things. Persuit is available on DirecTV, Dish Network, AT&T, Verizon, FiOS, Cox Communications, but is not on Comcast, Charter, and others. I'll be honest to you, Pete. Hearing this and knowing that Impact is a cash-starved wrestling organization, I can't imagine that the own company that owns Anthem, owns Impact, is ponying up money to bring its own product on. To me, it would make sense to go to any one of those networks we named earlier and get that found money.
Well, I mean, obviously money's involved. Also, when you have, Pop TV and you have their demographic, let's say, and I don't even know what Pop TV's demographic is per se. But when you have to be cautious of like what you say or do so that you can still be on that Pop TV channel, that's tough because that limits what you can do with your product. Now that we're on Persuit, like it's an outdoors channel, I mean, it's a demographic pretty much for males, like hunting, shooting, fishing, that kind of stuff, male dominant type, interests and activities. So, it might be interesting to see what type of product going forward Impact is going to, kind of put out there because, guys that hunt, like hunting, you're killing living things. I mean, that's like, that's even though it's game, I mean, that's still, you're killing a living thing on television. So it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to be a little bit more edgy, maybe, which I know a lot of wrestling fans have been starved for with the PG era that's been going on in WWE. So, I mean, maybe that's going to be a thing going forward. I don't know. I really don't know.
And you have to also,
it could be interesting.
You have to also ask yourself, what are now being on a network owned by its? I don't know why you guys wouldn't go to Fight. I think that would have been perfect.
I think Fight is just a Canadian channel. So I think I'm pretty sure we might be on Fight in Canada.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Pursuit's an American show. So I think in Canada where it was Fight, and UK we're on like their Spike TV or whatever the case may be, and other countries we're on whatever network over there.
So my question now is, what do you think the advantages are? We don't know this yet, but I'm assuming since it's the company that owns the same channel, the rights for streaming might be a little bit different, where maybe you will be eligible to stream on the internet, Impact Wrestling days, hours, minutes earlier than what you probably could on Pop, which I think you said it was like 10 days, something like that.
Yeah, on Pop, it was 10 days afterwards. You were able to get it on our Global Wrestling Network app 10 days after it aired. So I don't know what it's going to be with that. It might be like, hey, directly after it airs, you can watch it. That'd be cool. I mean, for people that don't have Pursuit, like if you have Comcast, wherever the case may be. So, and I think it would actually definitely benefit our app if that was the case. I don't know what viewership is like. The only thing that I know with the Pursuit channel is that, just through the press release, that it's one of the fastest growing, television networks out there this past year. They had like a 15% increase over the past year, which I understand for a new company. It's only been around for, I think it started in 2008. So it's only been around for 10 years. NBC's not looking to get a 15% growth because everybody's had NBC since NBC's been around, and Fox and ABC and all that kind of stuff. So for a newer network to see this growth, I mean, that's a huge thing. The one thing that I always wonder about is, you look at WWE and their USA network. I mean, I really would like to know how many wrestling fans watch another show besides wrestling on the USA network. That's always interesting to me because, I mean, I know I don't watch anything on the USA network. So, I mean, I don't know if like WWE's like, okay, when they have their TV show on there and during the commercials, they're airing commercials. So, the viewers could be like, hey, check out this show on the USA Network and whatever the case may be. So I know we're going to get our fans to watch, to switch a channel. Just like they're going to follow Impact wherever they go. Same with WWE. They were on Spike, or first they were on USA, then to Spike, and then to USA. And they're, the fans just follow. So does it really necessarily matter which network we're on? I mean, that was always baffled me. I'm like, does it really matter?
Yeah, absolutely it does, because USA is one of the big, cable stations on the cable channels. Pursuit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Spike, Pop are not. So I think it's huge. And the one thing that USA did is they took advantage. Now, there are very few shows. I'm not a huge TV show watcher, but you know what? I'll tune in a little bit early for Raw and watch Modern Family. I used to like Burn Notice because I watched it after Raw every once in a while, and it would play over, and I got hooked, and I liked it. Now, that Crisley Knows Best guy, I think he's an absolute doof. There's no one more on earth that I dislike more than that ass clown. Excuse my language. I loathe him. If there was somebody to make me rip my TV off my wall, drag it outside, and beat it with a hammer, that's that guy's arrogant, pompous face.
Well, I mean, everybody, I guess, that has their own opinion. But, I mean, the way I look at it is Impact's been on so many networks. You look at, the first one we were on Fox Sports Net. Then we went to Spike TV. And Spike TV we're on for an hour. Then we switched to 2 hours. And I don't know if we switched, like, different times and dates that it aired, like Thursday or Friday, the days of the week. Then we went to, I think, Destination America, maybe? And I might be missing a few. And then we went to Pop TV, and now we're on Persuit channel. So, I mean, what's good is, now that it's owned by Anthem, it's good that we're like, hey, I'm pretty sure this is how it went. Impact was like, hey, this is what we want to do with this company, you know? And I'm sure they shopped it around to other networks, and other networks might have been like, no, we can't accommodate that, or no, that doesn't work for us, or whatever the case may be. And I'm pretty sure Persuit was like, yeah, that lines up with kind of with what our mission is and what we're trying to do and stuff. So it's always good to be on a network that lines up with what you're trying to accomplish as well. But I mean, each time, Spike TV, obviously the biggest network that we've been on. But even when we switched from Spike, people followed us to Destination America, and then people followed us to Pop TV. And I know I'm missing one. I can't even. Maybe I'm not, but people will follow. You put this press releases so that the fans that watch the product are like, okay, now I just have to turn it to channel whatever 604 or whatever it is now, and just put my DVR on for a different date. It'll be interesting to see what the ratings are. I mean, do I see them going up? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't even know any of the shows on Persuit right now. I mean, I looked up a list of them, and I'm like, I've never heard of. Everything's about shooting and fishing and doing something that's outdoors, pretty much, because it's an outdoors network, which is interesting because Impact's filmed indoors. So,
not anymore.
Not anymore, I guess. Right? We're gonna have an outdoor show. We're gonna be filming in the forest, I guess.
You know what would be interesting? And sure, this is a pipe dream, but hear me out before you poo-poo this. Do you think, in some sort of weird wrestling reality way, that the Persuit channel could buy the rights for Eric Young's old hunting show? No,
it wasn't a hunting show. It was actually filmed on Animal Planet. So Animal Planet, I don't think it's affiliated with Anthem or any of these networks.
I mean, you could buy the replay rights for him, sure. But what was his show about?
His was a fishing show.
So that would go.
Eric Young knows nothing about fishing. He blatantly says that all the time. Like, full disclosure, he's like, I don't know anything about fishing. I'm a character. But it was called like Off the Hook Extreme Catches.
But follow me on this. You have, let's say they could secure the rights to Eric Young's Off the Hook Fishing Fantasy, whatever it's called, right? Then, I don't know where this airs. Shawn Michaels has a hunting show.
Yeah, he does. I don't know where his airs.
I don't either.
Do we even know what it's called?
I don't. But on the flip side, I'm just kind of putting together an idea of, boy, if you could secure one or two of these shows, right, and you air one before and one after, how much do you think that would help? I mean, it'd be interesting because now, even though they're a couple years old and you're probably out of syndication by now, I don't think Sean might still be doing his, but Eric doesn't, so it might be able to help you secure those rights. But now your lead in is a WWE superstar, and your lead out is a WWE superstar.
I mean, that's a strong possibility. I mean, a normal network like a Pop TV would be like, no, absolutely not. We have no interest in, not that they don't have any interest in our product, but like, we're not going to spend money to help your product. Like, we have our own stuff to worry about. But since Anthem owns Persuit, and Impact, they might be like, yeah, maybe we could do something like that. I mean, I don't know how much it would cost. I don't know what the ratings would be like if, in syndication, what Shawn Michaels' hunting show and Eric Young's fishing show would get for us. I'm sure if it got us ratings, then they would be, definitely buy it.
This is all fantasy too.
Yeah, obviously. Like, would Animal Planet be like, yeah, we'll give up the rights to this? I mean, probably not. I don't know, but
you wouldn't have to give up the rights. All they'd have to do is buy the syndication, which means you're just renting the show to air it on yours, and you're paying Animal Planet.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, would it, in their mind, would it be worth it? I mean, to fit into what everything is hunting, fishing, like shooting, all that kind of stuff.
If you branded
so
it
that would
right,
definitely fit in the network.
If you branded it right in your Impact Wrestling, and like I said, once again, this is all, they're on a hunting network. I'm just trying to connect A to Z, and there's so many dots in the middle. It may never be connected. Or this could be an ultimate plan, which they'd be smart if it was, because you're bringing Impact over. Wrestling fans that can watch will follow. Now, you're now able to advertise, hey, you like Impact, hang out for WWE Superstar, now you have a WWE Superstar, leading you in. So if people show up early, you have Eric Young or Shawn Michaels. So you may be able to capture viewership coming in, that early show. And then the people that might be slow to change the channel, there's Eric Young or Shawn Michaels maybe keeping viewers there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, if that's a possibility, that would be something that could happen. I don't know. I just don't see wrestling fans as, the people that watch the product are like hunting or fishing or shooting type of people, or like outdoor rec type people. I really don't. Me growing up, I mean, I didn't do any of that stuff, really.
I didn't.
So it's a tough. But then again, we look at Pop TV. I mean, we don't really fit their bill. I mean, what's wrestling really related to? I mean, I relate wrestling to like either like a UFC, or if you go back to the Attitude Era, like maybe like a Jerry Springer or something. A lot of people related, wrestling to Jerry Springer and that type of stuff. But like, what network? Honestly, like, I mean, I don't even think wrestling belongs on the USA Network. But like, what network would wrestling really belong on? Like, Spike TV would probably be the best, because it's like it's a network for men is how they used to promote it. That's the best network to be on, I would say. I mean, I don't really know what a great network to put this show on, or any wrestling show. It's so unique a wrestling show that like there's no real network that fits the bill.
And I'm kind of looking around the net. Let's see here. This comes from Wrestling Inc. Let's see here. Where was that part that I wanted to read to you? Impact was reportedly talking to several cable networks, but ended up signing with the network that is already a partner of theirs, parent company. Let's see here. There's no real interest shown from any of those networks, but it was recently reported that Impact had talks with Sci-Fi, True TV, and WGN America. It'll be interesting to see what... Let's see here. Where is it? I lost it. Anyways, it goes on to say basically it'll be interesting to see if now Impact will be able to put full episodes on Twitch or on YouTube, which I guess the question is, and a lot of people watch wrestling now, do you pass up on Sci-Fi, WGN? Let's say there's a little bit to go to Persuit, and Persuit allows you to put your shows, because I believe Impact was not allowed to put their shows on Twitch or YouTube, which that could hinder viewership. Do you pass up on the big WGN to be able to have that kind of freedom?
Oh, I mean, it all depends on money, honestly. Like, I think when we first started with Spike, oh man, I'm trying to go back some years of how it works. Like, and I'm going to say this all wrong. I know I will. But you can either, like, when we were first on Spike, like, you can either pay to be on Spike, and then keep all the money from the advertisements from commercials that aired, or, you cannot pay to be on Spike, but then Spike would keep all the money from the commercials that were aired, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of, and it all depends of like, hey, what's going to be the best for the company longevity wise. That's what they're probably thinking of. And like, hey, Anthem owns Persuit, Anthem owns Impact. longevity wise, like, even if we have a rebuilding phase and all that kind of stuff, we'll still be able to, be on the network, and we'll still have a solid time slot. We can do what we can do. And then, if you think about it, the second person in charge is Ed Nordholm, and he's usually at our tapings. And can we go to him and be like, hey, we want to do this. Do you think like it's okay? Is it too risky to do this? And Ed could be like, yeah, no, rather than like, we film what we film. We, distribute it at Pop, and Pop's like questioning us, like, why did you guys do this? Why did you guys do this? Like all that kind of stuff. So, sometimes it's good when you're kind of, owned by the same company that whose network you're on.
So I guess as we're going to wrap this up, let me ask you this. Gut reaction when hearing the news. Honest gut reaction. Because I'll tell you mine. Mine was, oh, man. I was bummed out. Now, this is before I opened and read and even talked to you about this. But my first gut reaction was, really, guys? You guys had such an amazing second half to 2018. The future's so bright for 2019. And then it's like, hey, Persuit. So I guess I started this podcast from like, Pete, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, initially I was like, oh, good, we got off of Pop. I was like, oh, good, we got off of Pop. I'm like, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, we announced a different cable company. This is a fresh start. People are going to be excited and stuff. Persuit, yeah. Initially I was like, okay, because, you hear all these rumors like, Sci-Fi and True TV and WGN America, all like, you could say those names to anybody living in your neighborhood right now. They'd be like, yeah, I have those networks, and I know what they are. I watch shows on that network. If you say Persuit, they're like, yeah, I never really heard of it. So initially I was like, oh, Persuit, I just look at it as not still rebuilding, but like, it's good we have a new home. But, I was really hoping for, obviously, like, WWE's announcing they're on Fox and stuff like that. I was hoping for something a little bit more mainstream, I guess you could say, more viewers and all that kind of stuff for our product. But, maybe right now that's not where Impact is. Maybe we have to like build our brand again, because, building it over a year, we've done our best, but we still have, a long ways to go. And I think it'll be fine. Looking at the growth of Pursuit, it'll be fine. Everything will be okay. But initially I was like, Pursuit, what's that? I got to go, research this pretty much.
I thought, was this a cruel joke? Is somebody teasing us?
No.
But now, with that being said, and I'm turning the corner a little bit, I'm still very skeptical until I see what the financials are of the deal. Who knows? Maybe Persuit had more money to offer for a budget for Impact. I don't know. If that's the case, you got to go whether it's a bigger network or not, but you have to go where the money is if you're in Impact right now, right?
Yeah, obviously, trying to build your product and stuff like that. Going back to what I said about Impact's first initial deal with Spike, if that was correct, it's probably the same thing. Like, you don't want to be going into the red just to build your product, because there's no longevity in that. And I think Impact's looking at longevity. Like, how can we make this last for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years into the future, rather than like, hey, let's just go for broke right now, and this is our last ditch effort and stuff. Maybe Impact feels like, hey, we're not at that point yet where we can just go for broke. Let's build up a little bit, and then and the wrestling world's transitioning right now. So maybe there's more to the story, but maybe they're thinking like, hey, let's not go for broke. Let's do this safe, and then just build from there.
Do you think going forward that, Persuit, you guys will be the butt of any jokes?
Like on the Persuit channel?
No, in the wrestling world, because you're on the Persuit channel.
We were on Pop. Pop used to be the TV guide channel.
It was too.
Like, you can't really be the butt of any jokes already that haven't been, and Impact's been the butt of jokes. I think we've kind of, made it abundantly clear, like, hey, we know what we've done in the past was wrong. This is what we're doing going forward under new management and stuff like that. This is what we've been about the past year. So people know what we're doing. We're giving good wrestling content out there and a good wrestling product. So, yeah, if you want to make fun of us for mistakes that other ownership has done in the past, okay. Those people aren't here anymore. So I think wrestling fans are smart enough to know, like, this is a new regime, and we don't really have a lot of, like, blemishes on our record yet.
So going forward, friends, family, other wrestlers, has anybody texted you about this and went, Persuit got Pete? What the hell?
No, nothing yet. It's relatively new. This is day one of it. I haven't even been out of the house today, to be honest with you.
It's so big,
sick,
you can't
sick
find the
kid
door.
And stuff like that. But, I'm sure I'm going to run into some people that are like, hey, what's with this Persuit and stuff like that? And, we'll talk about it on the podcast further once people give me their feedback. And I know it's going to be negative. I know it's going to be negative just because nobody has heard of this Persuit channel, and people don't want to, think it's going to be a step in the right direction. They just don't. The human mind's always like, for whatever reason, they don't want to see people or companies or whatever succeed. They want to be able to say, I told you so, that kind of deal. But then again, there's a lot of people who are like, hey, I want to see this company succeed. They've been doing a lot of great things. Hang in there kind of deal. But yeah, nobody's said anything yet.
And to wrap this up, do you know what is a great transition from the Persuit Network and Wow PD?
T-shirts?
T-shirts, that's right.
Oh, man. Yeah, because I was thinking the exact same thing.
If you go to whatfarapparel.com/WPP, you can get a couple good shirts we have. We're kind of new in the shirt game. I think we have 3 or 4 different designs out there now, different color T-shirts. We have hoodies. We'd love for you guys to go over, take a look, buy one, please. And if you don't, tell us you like the shirts or you saw it and you thought it was kind of cool. Like I said, the shirt game is somewhat new for us, and in 2019 we'll be building on it a little bit more. But, I've got one. Pete, you have one. They're great. They're comfortable. I love it. I wear mine as like a nightgown with just like boxers under it.
I wear mine mostly to the gym because, I want people to see, like, hey, look at this big giant guy working out. You can buy a shirt just like this.
Nice. I kind of like going Winnie the Pooh in mine, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, who doesn't?
You? I'm guessing.
I wear mine in the shower. What do you want me to say? I never take mine off.
Oh my gosh, you're so weird wearing it in the shower. Really, Pete? Out of all the things you could do, wear it in the shower?
I don't know. I just thought about the most random place you could wear it.
All right, guys, this was a very special edition. It kind of came out of nowhere. We wanted to put something out about the move. We will not be podcasting between Christmas and New Year's. I do have a best of episode. It's going to be tight. My grandma finally passed away. God bless her soul. Thank you, Pete, for reaching out. And everybody, by the way, on the internet. I posted a tweet about her. She was born in 1933, Pete. 1933.
Jeez. 33, man. She even knows what, like, Muzak is. Not music, Muzak.
She's lived
I couldn't even imagine.
She's lived through a world war.
Yeah, man. Jeez.
But the amount of people who have tweeted out to me, who have reached out to me, I promise I will send each and every one of you an individual thank you note. The tweet I put out was liked over 300 times, for God's sakes, and it touched my soul that I think somewhere, my Grandma Joan would be smiling, going, "Wow, that many people." I think the impressions were over like 300,000, which blew my mind. And I'm sure that she's up there smiling because, you, the fans, the people, cared enough to take a few minutes out of your day to reach out to me and thank me and tell me great things. And I'm kind of tearing up now because of the love from our fans, Pete.
Hey, we do have loyal, genuine fans. But I feel like, that they're a part of us when we just talk about wrestling and stuff. and just to know your passion for it, my passion for it. You speak with passion when it comes to wrestling. You've been speaking with passion when it comes to your Grandma Joan. People can feel that passion, and they feel for you. They feel for us. So thanks again, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the holidays. There will be a best of. I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe it will be our Cage interview, which was good. I want to say Chelsea Green.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
And
they were all fun.
And Jeff Jarrett. Those.
Oh, yeah, Uncle Jeff.
Uncle Good. Jeff, which we need to get him back on soon.
Yeah. See what he's up to now.
Yeah. Oh, I started watching, not for nothing as we wrap this up, because I know you're busy and you don't have time for small talk with little old me, but I watched the Edge and Christian show for the first time the other night, and Uncle Jeff popped up, and it was hilarious because he was poking fun at himself about the whole money thing in the WWE.
Hey, Uncle Jeff, believe it or not, I know he didn't come across on television with his character and stuff like that, but he's one of the funniest guys and like the biggest jokers and clowns that you'd ever meet, in the world, let alone wrestling. So, I'm really upset that his humor never really, was relayed on television like that. Like I don't know. I mean, I was always really upset about that because he was so much more than the guy you just saw on TV.
Oh, man, 3 great interviews, but there will be 3 interviews. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will be releasing that in place of a wrestling perspective. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope, PD, from the bottom of my heart, you guys have an amazing Christmas, 4 days away as we record this, and an even better New Year because you guys deserve it.
Oh, thanks. You too, Dennis. To you and your family.
And you too, Pete. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time we record in a few weeks.
All right. Sounds good.